When you have content you want appearing at the top or the bottom of every page in your document, the last thing you'll want to do is enter that stuff in yourself on every page. Instead, you should be using headers or footers. That's what we're going to explore in this movie with our Tech Connect document 0502 if you're catching up. Let's say, for example, at the top of every page, we want it to say some kind of copyright information and the year, and at the bottom of every page, maybe some page numbering, whether it be a plain number in the center or the word page. There are many options to choose from. So to get to the headers and footers, there's a few different ways. The easiest is to simply double-click in the area above the margin, because that's where your header and footer information go, either above the top margin at the top of your page or below the bottom margin at the bottom of your page. And you can see on the rulers, it's represented by this gray area. So if we go down to the bottom of page 1, right near the bottom edge of the paper, and double-click, you can see it opens up the footer section, and at the top of the page is the header section. So anything we add to the bottom or top in these sections will appear on every page. We just need to enter it once. So let's go down to the header area down here on the next page. Just click inside there. You can see your cursor flashing. Let's go up to the Home tab. Let's make this right aligned so everything that's entered here will be lined up on the right-hand side. We could type in the date, or we could go to Insert. There's date and time right there. Give it a click, and then choose a format that we want to work with. I'm going to go with this one here. You can choose whatever you like and click OK. It gets inserted right up there. Well, what about at the bottom? Maybe at the bottom would be a good place for some page numbering. We can click in there and we could start typing, but whatever we type is going to appear on every page. Instead, what we want is a code for page numbering, and it's available to us because you'll notice there's a new header and footer section to the ribbon with a Design tab. Click that, and you'll notice that page numbering is one of the things we can insert into headers and footers. So click the drop down. We want it at the bottom of the page, so we'll hover over that. Now you can see there's a number of presets to choose from with a little preview of what it's going to look like. Some of them include the word page or the abbreviation, some with dots, some with lines, some larger and smaller than others. Let's go to the second option, plain number 2. It's just a number all by itself. It's going to be centered. When we click this, it's actually added to the footer section. You can see there's our first 1, the bottom of page 1. And as we go down to the next page, we actually see a 2. It's not an actual piece of text that was typed in. It's a code representing the page that we're on. So when we're done editing, we can click Close, Header and Footer right up here on the ribbon. We're going to see what it looks like for page numbering and the date in the top right-hand corner of every single page. But what if we don't want it on page 1? It's more of a title page, and we don't want to see the date up here, or we don't want to see the page numbering on the first page. There is an option for making the first page different. So that means editing the header and footer, and to do that, we just do exactly what we did to create it. Double-click in the header area at the top of a page, or in the footer area down at the bottom. I'm going to double-click at the bottom of page 1. I'm back in. Notice that we can have a different first page with our Design tab selected here. That creates a different area on the first page. So whatever we do on the first page now, you can see it's actually missing. That date's gone. And the page numbering's gone as well. However, everything's still there on page 2. And 3 if we scroll far enough down. We can even have different headers and footers for odd and even pages. Even if it's the same information, maybe left aligned or right aligned for odd and even pages, that's an option. And we can even have different headers and footers for different sections in a document. Let's click the Close Header and Footer button here to see that our first page is indeed different. Doesn't include that date and page numbering, whereas the rest do. But what if we wanted some of them to include it, some of them not, some of them something different? That means creating different sections and using different headers and footers for those different sections. That's something we're going to talk about next.